Hello and welcome to the ISC Women's Sport Business Week. I'm Andrew James and my guest for this webinar is Kateryna Biloruska of FEM, that's Future Empowered Minds Project. Kateryna was previously the owner of a globally recognized online betting company, and she has a strong entrepreneurial background. She's now shifted her focus to new ventures through the Kateryna Biloruska Foundation. Her mission is to support initiatives that promote gender equity and invest in the potential of young people. Future Empowered Minds is an international leadership program designed for teenage girls. It provides a safe and inspiring space where young girls can develop leadership qualities, connect with their peers worldwide, and become active participants in global society. FEM helps to gain skills that will help girls stay positive in the future. It'll unlock potential and be flexible and adaptive in this ever-changing world. Well, Kateryna, welcome along. Thank you very much for your time on our webinar today. Before we talk about FEM, though, can we just start a little more by looking at your journey and your passion for shaping a future, really, for women and young girls?
Hi, hello. Thank you for inviting me today and for this opportunity to explain about the FEM project, because that's very important for me to spread this information and to tell about these opportunities for the girls and also for those who wants to participate as a expert or the inspiring leader who wants to talk to girls. So, if to talk about the why I'm starting that project, what inspired me to create this, I think the answer is very easy. That's my own experience, because I have like 20 plus years in iGaming business, which is the man-like industry mostly. And also I have around 6 years in non-profit, which has also shown me a lot. And I knowing what is that being a woman on the leadership position is not easy. Of course, there is the woman with the strong man-like characters who can be super insisting, hard in their decision, and even a bit aggressive. But I think that nowadays the most successful leaders one that uses their soft power, like empathy, collaboration, understanding of the psychological patterns of communication with the different people. So I actually learned all those things during my work career and during my long way. And of course, I came through my own struggles, mistakes during all that way. And then I decided that that's maybe the great idea to share my own experience with the younger generation and to gather the other impressive leaders around this topic, because I know a lot of the people who have things to share with the young generation and especially with the girls. So because I think that our society is really needs a new voices and new energy, and so why could not it be young women?
So how does FEM sort of reflect those lessons that you've learned from your journey? As you say, you've got those values, that sort of mission statement, if you like, about your foundation. What have you put in place to reflect that in FEM?
So the mission of the KBF is to create and support diverse opportunities for the youth and the kids. That's the primary things what we are doing, and we're doing it through empowerment and development of the kids. And usually we using sport and education as an instrument. And when we talk about the FEM program, that's mostly about the education and empowerment, because what we are doing there, we are trying to work with the girls on their self-confidence, first of all, because that's the very important thing, and to explain them that the leadership is not only about high position in some corporations. The leadership it can be everywhere, at home, in the classroom, with the kids, and like everywhere. You just have to know your opportunities. So that's mostly about this.
And I guess this is the first edition, really, of FEM, isn't it? It's your first sort of run at it. What are you expecting to see as the end product, if you like?
Yes, that's really the first edition. We started that project just in the beginning of this year, and we've already had the leadership FEM camp, which was very good. But that was like the pilot for us to see how we can interact with the girls, what will be really interesting for that, what format have we choose, and such things. And now we are working on the online course that will start in the beginning of the September. So people actually usually very often ask me about what I'm expecting the end, like what is the aim of the program. And honestly, I will be very happy if 3% of the girls who was attending our program in 10 years will become a change makers. The person who will become a leader, who is really influence change and make some really good impact in the society. It is if to talk about the long-term aims. If we talk about some more short-term, I expecting that the part of the girls will stay with us as a mentors for the newcomers after they finish their education, because that's the good practice for them, and that's the big support for us. I mean, I would like to create the circle where one girls took the knowledge from us and then give that knowledge to the other girls who came, who just entered the program. So I would like to have something like she learned and she teach, because that's a good experience. And in that way, we are keeping the girl with us for a long time and proposing for them new products and a new experience, which is important.
And you said earlier about soft skills, and that you were aware that from your own experience, you needed, people need that to
Mhm.
succeed in business and in life in general, don't they? I mean, emotional awareness, storytelling, resilience. I remember in my job as a university lecturer, we were always trying to instill resilience into the students. How's that been going? What have you found with that as you've been teaching those soft skills so far?
I think that the emotional awareness is the crucial for the leaders, because you can be very competent in what you're doing, but if you cannot control your temper, or if you cannot overcome the situation when your emotion is taking over you or just breaking you down, you cannot be really successful. So the first things we try to work on with the girls on the FAM program is to give them understanding of self-regulation and about who they are, because we work with the teenagers, and this is the challenging age, when you are in the transition between uh, childhood and adolescence. So we're trying to, first of all, give them understanding of who they are, how they have to accept the changes, emotional, physical, and how to overcome some fears, because they have that a lot of the fears in their life. Uh, and of course, we are talking to them about the emotional intelligence, because that's the very important principle that they have to understand. And this will help them not just to be a leaders. Yes, it will help them just to be a successful people in whatever they do, in family relationships, in the friendships, in learning, and so on and so on. So I think that's very important. And we just start with this self-understanding, and only after that we give to girls some other nice and interesting skills, like storytelling, financial literacy, effective communication, and all that things. Because I think that before they are did not, like feel the ground with their feet and understand who they are, they cannot fully understand all that nice and very important knowledges we will give them.
And I think you mentioned at the start, Kateryna, about your own experience in the e-gaming betting side of things, very male dominated, very man dominated. Um, I can say this, but men aren't normally associated with emotional awareness. It tends to be something that females are much better at. So I suppose if girls can learn that at an early age, it will give them an advantage in the commercial world, that they will come in as better leaders with greater awareness of their role in terms of their emotional control.
Of course, that's true. I mean, if I know everything did before I start my career, I think I will be more successful and more, more resilient, more calm in some situation. So to get some knowledge on your own experience, that's a perfect way. Actually, that's the best way. But with our program, we just want to prepare girls for this, at least to give them some instruments, to overcome the situation they will face in their future.
Yeah. You are a fantastic entrepreneur. You are giving back now. You are a philanthropist now. Um, do you have a sort of idea of, is it, and I think you've touched on this already, that I was going to say, is it more important to find new business leaders, or is it more important just to make a group of girls who are more aware of how they can improve themselves, and then they will go on to teach more girls, and almost like pyramid selling, it sort of goes, it expands like that. I mean, is the second one your greater wish, that you set people thinking in a way that enables them to be self-sufficient?
I think that both mission is there. Of course, the bigger one is to bring to the society new female leaders, because that's the lack of female leader is the problem I think the society is having now. So that's the primary task, but I understand, and as I told already, that I will be happy if 3% of the girls with whom we work will be there, because I understand that's the long way and that's the not easy way. But at least we want to contribute in that way, at least with some personalities. And we really want to support that girls through all their ways. The other thing which you mentioned is just to give them, self-confidence, some instruments for their life. That's also important. That's super important, because we also, I did not mention it from the beginning, but we are trying to work with the groups of girls who has lack of possibilities in their lives, like low-income families, families that struggle from some geopolitical things. Also, some vulnerable groups who do not have this possibility to join some courses, to go to some camps and start things. We wish to work with for example, in Cyprus, because the foundation is based in Cyprus, we are wishing to work with the girls from the agricultural schools. That's the districts which is somewhere in the mountains, and the girls they know like little about the life there.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
want to give them possibilities, first of all, to know to gain these skills and knowledges so they can change their life.
And the program, we should say, is global, isn't it? It's international. You've got girls on the program from various different countries. I think six at least different represented. How important is it to you that girls get that experience of engaging with girls and young women from other countries, to broaden their knowledge, I suppose?
Yeah, that's one of our main pillars, that the program should be international, so we can also have this cross-cultural exchange. I will explain why it matters. for me personally, and I think for everyone today, because the world became global, really. And you never know with which nationality you will work or interact in your life. And that's, I understand also in my own experience, because when you work in a, for example, big international corporation, there is the people from different countries, and you have to know how to interact with them. And what I know, that we are absolutely different in terms of mentality and in terms of how we work, how we build the relationship, friendships, and all other stuff. So that's why I understand that's very important for the girls, for everyone actually, to understand that there is a difference in mentality. And first of all, you have to understand your mentality and the mentality of the country where you live or where are you from, because the mentality is from the childhood, and to accept it. That's also very important things. And then to know something about the other cultures and about other mentalities. That's important. And also we want girls to learn how to get to know about them, because like we cannot invite the girls from all around the world, and we do not know who they will meet on their way. So at least we have to show them some examples and how to interact, because the difference is very big when you start to making the project with the people from the other cultures. You're doing things in a different way, and that's very important to understand how we can interact and what I have to say or how I should write that letter so she understand me. you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's almost peer learning, isn't it? It's learning from people around you. And I
Yeah,
think that's an important brick for this project, isn't it? That girls and that they can sort of learn from their peers. They can say, "Oh, crikey, I didn't know that was how, a way of doing that. I didn't know before that that was an option in your country or something." So I guess you've built that in to be very important as well.
yes, actually, we have in mind to build that global sisterhood, because I think that's very important for girls to understand that they can support each other and they can be of help to each other. That's not important. That's not only important to the girls, that like for the women worldwide. That's then important, because we really, I think that when the women is doing something together, they have that very strong energy and synergy that can ruin the world.
I mean, obviously, we're the International Sports Convention. We talk a lot of sport on these webinars. Is sport a way into it for the girls? Because I imagine not everybody likes their sport, but some do. And I imagine some of the skills that you see in sport about being a team player, perhaps being a captain and knowing how to lead a team, do those skills transfer well into the FEM project?
Absolutely. So previously, our foundation was working mostly with the sport programs, and we still work with them. That's the important part of our mission. And we actually using the sport as the instrument to develop the kids, because I believe that the sport is a very nice instrument for developing leadership skills, for developing teamwork, to test your how you can stand against the stress situation when you are under the pressure. How you can collaborate. You also can train it doing this some team sport, and that's the nice instrument for the tolerance as well. So a lot of things, and I think that the sport for the kids, for the teenagers, for youth as a whole is very important as the part of their training for their future struggles in the life, because that's just like the playground when they can train all that knowledges which they will use then in their real life, at work, at university, at home, and so on. So that's why that's what we are giving girls. So the program is very similar. And if I will return, because we mostly now talking about the online program, but we also have these leadership camps. And when we are doing the leadership camp, the sport is the very important part of everyday life for the girls there, because we also trying to introduce them to the different sports. We are trying to explain them about why that matters, and to motivate them, of course.
And we know that teenagers in particular, right across the world, are so aware. They've got such good knowledge about technical things, about digital things, about AI now, I suppose, as well. Do those things feature on the program? Because I suspect they almost young people today will almost expect those kind of things to be there.
Yeah, of course. Yes, we have this technology and the AI blog, because that's important. And I think that the generation with which we are working, that's mostly, I think that's mostly something between Gen Z and Alpha. So they are already introduced to the AI. They know about this, so they born with the iPad in the hands, and all that stuff. But still, that's the kids that were born before AI became so popular and so integrated in our lives. So that's why they still have to learn how to work with this. And when we talk, we don't want kids to use ChatGPT to do their homework. We don't want, but there is no way to not to use it. So we have to explain them how to do that in the proper way, how to use it, because that can be of help, actually. They just have to know the principles, how to do that with the maximum quality, And during our program, the girls will also work on the project in the small groups, like they will have this collaboration. They will plan and implement it during the learning, and then we will have like the final the final event where they will represent their results. And during all that working process on the project, we will try to push them to use AI tools for that, because that's very important. They use it on the practice. We want them to show how they use it.
And yes, to demonstrate their learning. I suppose another way of learning as well is through mentorship. And I noticed looking at the program that you've got a good number of really experienced, really high profile people who have joined you in terms of the foundation, Kateryna, who have joined you as being mentors on the program. How well has that been going with the girls? Did they look for sort of role models from those mentors?
We'll see how it will work, because that's just what we are like expecting that will be effective, but we'll see. But anyway, I think that when people have this a bit of personal touch and this one-to-one conversation, that always matters, that always more effective than when you work only in the group. And to work in the small groups with the mentor is also very important, I think. So that's also the important pillar of our program, is to have women who inspire. So we have a lot of very interesting leaders who will come just to share their experience. And another part is the mentors who will be with the girls through all the program, who will support them, who will help them answering their questions, motivate them. I think that's the crucial, when you have someone who can motivate you and to push you to go on when you're a little bit tired or unmotivated or whatever.
And just a final question, if I can, for you, just on a personal level, really. I'm always interested when I talk to people like yourselves who've experienced great success in business as you did, and then you turn yourself towards helping the next generation. Um, what satisfaction are you feeling? On a personal level, how important is it? We touched on it at the start of this webinar, but with where you are now with the program and the exciting plans you've got for the future, Is this almost giving you as much, if not more, satisfaction than when you were building your business?
I think for me personally, yes, because okay, I'm still doing some business, I'm still an investor, and that's the part of my life as well. But the charity and the impactful project, that's something that really drive me, like it's something really make me excited about what I'm doing, because I don't know, that's on the personal level, that just I used to create something. I really excited when I'm doing something for someone, and that's understanding that at some point you're changing someone's life for the best is something, I mean, the most important for me.
It's money can't buy, isn't it, as people say sometimes. So I totally understand that. Well, look, Kateryna, thanks very much indeed for your time joining us on this webinar today. Thank you very much indeed, Kateryna. We wish you all the very best as the project goes from strength to strength.
Thank you very much. Thank you.